Ever wondered if there's more to NASA's mission than we know? Welcome to the enigmatic world of Project Bluebeam, a theory that has stirred the pot of conspiracy and skepticism alike since the early 90s. This theory, attributed to the late Quebecois journalist Serge Monast, hints at a clandestine operation allegedly orchestrated by NASA to deceive humanity on a global scale. But what exactly is Project Bluebeam? Let's unravel this puzzle piece by piece. Monast's theory of Project Bluebeam is a complex tapestry woven with threads of advanced technology and elaborate deception. According to him, this covert operation is not a simple one-step process, but unfolds in 4 distinct stages. First, imagine the skies filled with holographic images so realistic that they could easily pass off as extraterrestrial spaceships or divine apparitions. This is the initial stage of Project Bluebeam, as per Monast. He alleged that NASA, with its cutting-edge technology, could project such lifelike holograms onto the sky, capable of inducing widespread confusion and chaos. Following this grand illusion, the second stage plays out like a disaster movie. But instead of being on a silver screen, these cataclysms are supposedly brought to life. From earthquakes to tsunamis, Monast claimed that NASA could simulate natural disasters, instilling fear and panic on a global level. But the plot thickens with the third stage. Here, Monast argued that NASA could manipulate religious beliefs by staging a simulated second coming of Christ or appearances of other messianic figures using the same holographic technology. The goal? To unite humanity under a single global religion. Finally, the fourth stage allegedly leads to the establishment of a new world order. A small elite would exert absolute control over the planet, facilitated by the chaos and confusion sown by the preceding stages. As we delve further, the layers of this complex theory begin to unfold. But remember, the world of conspiracy theories is as much about fact-finding as it is about questioning. So keep your thinking caps on as we continue our exploration of Project Bluebeam. Imagine looking up to see extraterrestrial crafts or religious apparitions in the sky. Quite an intriguing spectacle, wouldn't you say? This is exactly what the first stage of Project Bluebeam proposes. It's all about the application of advanced technology, specifically holographic projections. In this stage, it's believed that NASA, or some other shadowy organization, has the means to manipulate reality itself. How, you might ask? By projecting lifelike 3-dimensional images right onto the sky. The idea is that these images could be anything from a fleet of alien spacecraft to the figure of a deity appearing to descend from the heavens. Now think about the potential implications of such technology. Imagine the confusion, the awe, the chaos that could ensue if people around the world suddenly witnessed what they believe to be an extraterrestrial invasion or a divine revelation. It's a scenario straight out of a science fiction novel, and yet, according to proponents of Project Bluebeam, it's not only possible but a key part of a larger, more nefarious plan. What's more, they argue that this technology isn't something of the distant future, but that it exists today, hidden away in the secret labs of NASA or other clandestine groups. They believe that the powers that be have the ability to shatter our perception of reality, to sow discord and fear, to manipulate the masses on a global scale. Of course, such assertions raise a multitude of questions. How advanced would this technology need to be? What kind of resources would it require? And perhaps most importantly, why would anyone want to do this? These are the questions that fuel the intrigue, the skepticism, and the intense debates surrounding Project Bluebeam. This stage of the project, the use of advanced holographic technology, sets the foundation for the subsequent stages. It's the opening act of a grand, cryptic narrative that delves into manufactured disasters, religious deception, and the establishment of a new world order. But that's just the beginning of this enigma. Stay with us as we continue to unravel the mystery of Project Bluebeam. What if the natural disasters we fear could be manufactured? Imagine a world where the rumble of an earthquake, the surge of a tsunami, or the frenzy of a tornado could be triggered at will. This is the second stage of the enigmatic Project Bluebeam. Proponents argue that NASA, or the powers behind it, could potentially harness the forces of nature, creating lifelike simulations of devastating natural disasters. The reason? Fear. Fear is a powerful tool. It can make the bravest of us tremble, the strongest of us falter. It can make us look for a savior, a protector, a guiding hand to lead us out of the darkness. And in that desperation, we may find ourselves relinquishing our freedoms, our autonomy to those who promise safety, those who claim to have the power to control the uncontrollable. As we move forward, the plot thickens. Could your deepest beliefs be manipulated by an unseen hand? Imagine for a moment the power to control perceptions, to distort what is holy and sacred, to bend faith to the will of a select few. This is the third facet of the enigma known as Project Bluebeam. In this stage, the alleged plot thickens, moving beyond the realms of technology and nature, delving into the sanctum of spirituality. The theory suggests that NASA plans to simulate the second coming of Christ or the arrival of other messianic figures, depending on the predominant faith in a given region. But how, you might ask? Well, according to proponents of the theory, NASA would utilize the same advanced holographic technology we discussed earlier. The sky would serve as their canvas, painting vivid, lifelike images of religious figures, complete with accompanying sounds and sensations. The goal? To create a spectacle so convincing it shakes the foundations of faith worldwide. But why would anyone want to manipulate religious beliefs on such a grand scale? The answer, Project Bluebeam supporters argue, lies in unity through deception. By staging a global religious event, they assert that the powers behind this alleged project aim to dissolve religious divides and establish a new, singular global religion. The implications of such manipulation are profound. If true, it would mean that our spiritual beliefs, our most intimate convictions, could be twisted and reshaped by external forces. It would signify a violation of religious freedom on an unprecedented scale, a subversion of beliefs under the guise of unity. However, skeptics argue that such a feat would require not only advanced technology but also a deep understanding of the world's religions and cultural nuances, a task seemingly too complex even for an organization as advanced as NASA. As we delve deeper into the labyrinth that is Project Bluebeam, we find ourselves grappling with questions that challenge the very fabric of our reality. Is it possible to manipulate faith on such a massive scale? And if so, to what end? Yet the final stage brings the grand design into focus. Imagine a world under the control of a select few. The final act of Project Bluebeam, if proponents are to be believed, sees the establishment of a new world order. With all the preceding stages executed flawlessly, the world would be in the throes of chaos and confusion, ripe for the taking. In this new world order, it is suggested that a small elite would exert absolute control over the planet. The manufactured crises and religious revelations would have served their purpose, creating a populace ready to surrender their freedoms for the promise of security and order. The potential consequences are dire. Proponents warn of unparalleled tyranny and oppression, a world where individual freedoms are a thing of the past, replaced by a culture of fear and compliance. Skeptics, however, dismiss these claims as baseless speculation, a dystopian fantasy born out of fear and mistrust. With all the pieces in place, the grand design emerges. Yet the evidence remains elusive. This is the persistent echo when it comes to Project Bluebeam. Concrete proof, the cornerstone of any credible theory, is conspicuously absent. Skeptics argue that without irrefutable evidence, Project Bluebeam is nothing more than speculative fiction, a tapestry woven from the threads of our collective fears and fascinations. Critics point out that NASA, an organization dedicated to space exploration and scientific advancement, lacks both the resources and the motivation to orchestrate such an elaborate global deception. It would require a level of technology, manpower, and secrecy that stretches the bounds of plausibility. Moreover, the theory hinges on an assumption of universal deception on an unprecedented scale. It suggests a world where every scientist, every engineer, every employee within NASA is either a part of the conspiracy or successfully duped by it. Such a level of complicity defies logic and human nature. A critical examination of these conjectures is essential. Yes, the idea of a vast government conspiracy is tantalizing. It feeds into our inherent curiosity and suspicion. But Occam's razor, the principle that simpler explanations are more likely to be correct, suggests that the claims surrounding Project Bluebeam need a more grounded foundation. The burden of proof, therefore, rests with the proponents. It's their responsibility to provide substantial, verifiable evidence that can withstand rigorous scrutiny. Until then, Project Bluebeam remains an intriguing theory, a captivating story. The truth, as they say, is often stranger than fiction. Project Bluebeam, a fascinating mystery or just a wild imagination? From its shadowy origins to the controversial stages, it sparked endless debate. Advanced technology, manufactured disasters, religious deception, and a new world order, all shrouded in secrecy. It's a compelling narrative, yet it's this very allure that keeps us questioning, keeps us digging deeper. As we continue to question, we continue to learn, and perhaps one day we will unveil the true nature of Project Bluebeam.